Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I had a very fond memory of one of my lecturers at university who used to say, with a big smile on his face, he used to say, you become like those you frequent. Okay, that was his like accent. We say frequent, those you frequent. And he used to tell the story, there was an Arabic proverb. Since this channel is for English, I will not say the proverb in Arabic. That if you frequent the perfume maker, you will smell like perfume. But if you frequent the blacksmith, you will smell like coal. And basically, the lesson is, a lesson that we've heard over and over, and that is to choose your company wisely, right? But in order to choose your company wisely, friends, you need to have goals and ambitions in life, and then you would know how to choose your company. Because I'm not moralizing here in this issue, I could say choose good people, choose people who have good morals and values and principles. Okay, but I'm not gonna moralize with y'all today. What I'm basically saying is that choose people who will help you get to your help you get to achieve your goals, basically. So help you get to the destination you want to be at. So let's say, for example, you really want to become a good athlete. Well, guess what? You start hanging out with athletes. Okay, you start training with elite athletes. If you want to become a good fighter, you go to a gym where some of the best fighters where they train at, You get in the ring with some of the best fighters. You spar with the best fighters. You get your ass kicked by the best fighters. That's how you become a good fighter, okay? If you want to become a good writer, well, you start reading books that are bestsellers. You start writing every day. You start having your writing be criticized by authors, by good authors. You get in touch with them. You start hanging out with them. You start discussing things with them. Uh, and that's how you get into it. So you don't know who to hang out with if you don't have ambitions and goals, because you will just hang out with anyone. And just hanging out with anyone means you could be down any hole, any rabbit hole, basically. You could just, if you start hanging out with, let's say, a drug user, and all that person wants to do every night is, get high, well, then probably, it will not be long um, until you be doing the same thing, basically. You will also just be getting high every night. So that person will then start setting your agenda for you. Since you don't have an agenda, you just an open slate, willing to just go any direction the wind blows you, and just hang out with anyone you meet by chance, because you're not particular about the company you keep. And so that way you just become raped by the world, basically, because you don't have your own agenda. So you don't get to choose the types of people that will help you further your agenda. And so you just end up somewhere with someone or some people or some types of friends who 99.9% of the time would probably be people that are just going to use you, since you're so open to it anyway, and so there's a principle called association and disassociation regarding company you keep. And so as a rule, if you know what you want in your life, you should start associating with people who have that already. Okay. So let's say, for argument's sake, you want to be a doctor. You're a student, you're studying medicine, you want to be a doctor, and you want the drive to get yourself through 7 years of study. Okay. I mean, it's a long time to study. It can be a lonely road. Studying is always a lonely road, you know. And you need the necessary ambition and encouragement along the path, you know, of studying for these 7 years. And so, what do? You know, how do you get that encouragement? Well, you start hanging out with people who are doctors. You start hanging out in surgeries. You start going to hospitals. You start, uh, surrounding yourself with the top students in your faculty. You start hanging out with people who are a year or two ahead of you, you know, so that you know what to expect and to look forward to and all of that. You start creating a social circle of people who have similar ambitions to you, and then you feed off each other's ambitions, and that's how you get there eventually. Okay, but first you need to have the ambition. Okay, so be picky about your company, basically, you know, because you become like those you frequent. And finally, what I want to say is that you just can't hang out with everybody or anybody, because, you know, there's a saying, kind of something like this, and I think the saying is in my own language, in Afrikaans, one of the South African languages, you know. So I'm gonna just try. Meng jou met die semels, dan eet die varke jou, you know. Basically, you know, if you if you are mixing with the worms and the food, basically the food of the pigs, then you will get eaten by the pigs, you know. And that's basically, you know, what happens. You know, you can't roll in the mud with the pigs and fly with the eagles at the same time. You got to choose, you know, do you want to be an eagle, or do you want to roll in the mud with the pigs, you know? And there's nothing wrong. I'm not moralizing again, you know. If you want to roll in the mud with the pigs, roll in the mud with the pigs, you know. If you want to fly with the eagles, fly with the eagles, but you can't do both. And this is kind of what, you know, I find happens a lot, you know, to us as human beings, is that we just are not circumspect and picky about who we hang out with, you know. We're not circumspect and picky about our friends, you know. Sometimes, look, like even myself, I grew up in a very close-knit community, and a lot of my classmates from primary school and high school, you know, when I'm in my local neighborhood, I see them around. Some of them are drug addicts now, dropouts, failures, and losers, okay? Not that I don't love them. I love them, of course. I love them, and I wish the best for them. And sure, when I meet them along the road, I'll stand for 5 or 10 minutes and have a conversation, because I know some of these people from 6 and 7 years old. So obviously we have that connection. When you know someone since a kid, you have that connection, you know. But I don't invite them to my home, you know. I don't socially engage with them otherwise, nor would they expect me to, because they know that we've chosen two very different paths in life, and that they respect the path in life I've chosen, and I don't respect the path in life they've chosen. They know that too, and I would not want them to associate with my family. They know that too, and because they respect me, they won't do it. Okay, simple. Okay, but I don't dislike them. I still love them. I still wish the best for them, and I still would, you know, in any way possible, if I could help, I would help them, you know. And I do, in fact, occasionally help them, because it's not about being judgmental. It's not about uh, not acknowledging the humanity. It's about preservation, okay? Self-preservation, preservation of your family, and preservation of the ideals that you try to live by, okay? Because no one's perfect. Of course, we have ideals, and then we have real life, and obviously we slip up, and obviously we falter and etc. But we get back up and we continue trying. And so when you have ideals, when you have goals, when you have standards that you try to live by, the way in which you make living by those standards more possible, easier, more attainable, is by associating with people who do live by those standards, or who are also aspiring to live by those standards, achieve those goals, and have those ideals that you have. And so that's basically, in a nutshell, the saying of a teacher of mine. Well, probably not his saying, but what he used to emphasize: you become like those you frequent. Choose your company wisely, guys. Just anyone who's friendly and comes along and wants to speak to you and hang out with you and what have you, it doesn't necessarily mean the person is good, okay? I have personally experienced a very bad situation very recently, with someone I thought would be or would become a friend, so you just gotta, I've made the mistake, a big mistake, to be too welcoming in relation to just about anyone, because I'm a friendly person and I'm a welcoming person, and whoever wants to kind of come in my life, I kind of let them, and I'm going to change that from now on, and hopefully you will too. Thank you very much.